Hello and welcome to another analyzed match of Age of Empires 4. In this particular match, we have the player I Love RTS, who's gracious enough to give me a game to analyze. So I hope to do you right in analyzing this game. He's against Duro in the red. So I'll be pretty much focused on this player's view the whole game. If I get a chance, if it makes sense, I will show the whole map. But otherwise, it's helpful, I think, to just see what a specific player is up to. So I Love RTS is playing as Abbasid. I don't know if that's a normal thing or not. Abbasid are near and dear to me, even if they kind of suck right now. But at the end of the day, I think people should take win rates with a grain of salt, especially when people main civilizations. You will rise or fall to a level where it is even play. So whether or not you are a better player or a worse player in general, you will be playing against people that are evenly matched given their civ choice. So, House of Wisdom is up. Pop capped. Hope you have that timed to not get house blocked, sir. Keep a little eye on that. You may have to worry about that next time a little sooner. I think you're good. You have this timed. Beautiful. Well done. I spoke too soon. Okay. So let's take a look at the matchup. Abbasid versus Chinese. Chinese are pretty versatile. There's a lot we can expect from them. This match is, this map is Altai. And so let me pop to the whole view here, just to give a reminder as to what Altai actually looks like for you and me. So basically we have these two passages, and you can expect that you are in the middle of one. And so if you see a cliff going this way, you kind of form that equal sign in this direction, and you can assume your opponent is somewhere here. So you're out and about on the map. I don't know what you have in mind specifically for scouting, if you're just looking for sheep, or your opponent, or what. In terms of your base, this gold could be in a better spot. This is pretty harassable. So if you choose to go archers, you may have to tower that. There's berries there as well, so it's not the worst thing to tower. And it might even range the wood a little bit, so keep that in mind. Your second berry patch is even farther in this direction, which isn't ideal, and you have a back stone. So we'll find out if you choose to go for the common Abbasid 2TC boom. So you have found your opponent. So as I was saying, he's Chinese, pretty versatile. This is the kind of map that they can play defensively on. You need to be careful of a fast castle into. Let's watch her scout for a minute here. Fast castle into with the astronomical clock tower into siege weapons, and can generally cause a lot of problems. That isn't quite as good since Springhounds have been nerfed, but Nest of Bees will still mess up groups of units. We have to keep an eye out for Song Dynasty as well. For the boom, for Zhu News as well. So something they could potentially do is just produce way more villagers than you. So I think you kind of have to scout the Chinese player. Keep in mind as well, if they have a single, let's say, stable, that could be triple production if they get a single Imperial official supervising it. So you really have to know what buildings they've chosen to spend their resources on. Now, you're partway up here. I wasn't watching. Economic wing is pretty standard, pretty meta. I'm assuming you will be going for fresh foodstuffs as well. I've said this many times. I think this tech is overrated. But if you're going for the 2TC boom, it makes sense, and it looks like you are. So 4 villagers on stone. Very, very normal. So far, things are looking very even keeled. Very good. So nice lap around. Did you not find a single sheep? Is that normal? That seems a little bit rough. The good news is at least you have berries. And you're Abbasid. So, you get that increased berry production anyway. But I hope this guy's going to zip to your opponent and see what's up on his side of the map. I hope as well in this game they add they show you where units are clicked to. Because I'd be able to see here, right? That like, oh, he's clicked back here, or that you're actively, like here in this case, obviously you're moving the guy, but that you shift clicked around a bunch of times or something like that. So almost at the feudal age, we will see what you get up to. If your opponent has reached it as well, definitely need to see what he's up to. He's got a scout heading your way. No sheep behind him either. I wonder if he got like a giant... I'm just going to check. Did he get a giant packet of sheep? Quite a lot of sheep. Yeah, so you lost out. You lost out on the sheep war. So you've scouted out the Imperial Academy. That's good. That tells you either this is Song Dynasty or it's just like greedy defensive play. Right? Because if it wasn't greedy, they would they'd go with the Barbican of the Sun. That's a safer way to play defensively. So Imperial Academy tells you quite a bit on that front. It can also tell you it's a fast castle, potentially, because the upgrade that comes from there lets you start taking out resources, rather tax money 40 at a time instead of 20, which means that it's easier to get the 600 gold that you need purely from tax, because it just takes less time to do. And in the meantime, you can have Imperial officials supervising. So it looks like he was on the mill, or on the lumber camp here. Pretty normal stuff. Blacksmith coming out from him in archery range. Okay. Blacksmith archery range. That looks pretty aggressive to me. There's going to be an Imperial official on this, I would bet. If you see a blacksmith this early, you've got to figure the heat is coming. I like your walling. I mean, this makes a lot of sense to me, especially since you're going for that second TC. So far, I do not mind this play at all. You will need to be careful. I mean, like, this is fundamentally not abusable. What's the word? Like, you can be taken advantage of for going for the second TC. Right? It's 700 resources. It takes about 5 minutes to pay off without fresh foodstuffs. You do have fresh foodstuffs, so it takes a bit less than 4 minutes, I think. More like 3.5. So keep an eye on that 7-minute mark. Basically, like 10.5 to 11 minutes is when you've broken even. And after that point, you should be in a pretty good spot. So, is this the Barbican? Did I miss... Oh, it is the Barbican. Okay, so you probably scouted that earlier. That's my mistake. So you know he's doing okay for villagers as well, building them a little faster than he normally would. But you should still be getting ahead. You may actually be behind now, though, which is interesting to know. And he is Song Dynasty, does have an archer range. Wouldn't be surprised to see Jugunus coming out. And here they are. These things will punish units like scouts. So are you fully walled? Or not fully, but, you know, enough to hold him off would be my question. I'm going to pause real quick here. Okay. So, just to quickly analyze this situation, Jugunus absolutely punish archers. Anything that is really light, anything that doesn't have armor. Now, horsemen they are light, but at least they have 1 armor. So, adding horsemen is a possibility here. The tower is, I think, a really good play. I'm not sure if this is the best spot or not. It's possible he can kind of like still get around it. But one way or another, it would be a small tweak on this. So this is really good. At the back, you are now making a blacksmith. Presumably for ranged armor. Okay, that's enough. I'm going to let us continue this game. Generally following your logic, I think. He's scouted your walls. He's probably just running around them with the archers as we speak. I mean, you can even... I was going to say sit them in the tower, but... Consider getting an emplacement. I think they're a little underused. You need a little stone for it, but they're not very expensive. And if you think you're under attack, I mean, anything to stay alive... Oh, that's a nice wall. Yeah, really liking your defensive play here. Villager-wise, you're at 35 with 7 military. More archers coming out. Blacksmith is getting ranged armor. That makes sense to me. And a ram is out. Building another wall. Yeah, oh yeah, I guess you're not going to be able to repair against the Jugunus, so... That makes sense as well. Yeah, this thing is, if he adds more rams, this thing is obviously in a pretty rough spot. You need a lot of units and quickly. Let's take a quick look at your resources. So you have 600 food that is not spent. Potentially another tower could be useful. Nice job picking off a few units. Just causing some problems. Villagers being produced. Yeah. It's a good tower. I mean, it can go down quickly, so it may not end up being a good tower. But like this with you won't be able to get spring open placement yet, but with the arrow slits is pretty painful for your opponent to deal with. So villagers, 39, 40. That's coming along nicely. Only like 3 idle. Could be better, but it's not the worst thing. Where are they? Oh, the wall builders. That makes sense. So his ram is in, and he is on the tower here. Okay, this town center can be manually targeted. This is the first thing. This is I'm going to pause real quick. Something a lot of people I think don't know is after the patch, one of the December patches, one of the ways they nerfed rams was allowing you to manually target. Oh no, is it only your hometown center? Okay. It's probably only your hometown center, in which case I am speaking nonsense. So it may actually be stuck to attacking the ram, and I will continue the game here. So tower going down. What's in this? 5 villagers. They need to hop into the TC. Stat. And you got the archer armor and attack. Let's take a quick look at him. Yeah, I think you should stabilize here. I mean, the fact that you have those upgrades and he doesn't. This is not too bad. The ram is a problem. At this stage, this is basically a numbers game, right? What's in here? 5 villagers. You could consider building a tower here. I mean, at least you can manually target towers. That's one way to do it. So you lose some villagers. The good news is you're probably ahead in villagers anyway. I like that if you're going to do it, go all out. Might as well grab many. Take out the ram quickly. And this thing isn't under threat. I would say just basically... Oh, no, fair enough. You dealt until it... repaired it until it couldn't... until it wouldn't burn down. So far, not too bad. Resources aren't crazy. It makes me wonder, though, like, is your plan Castle Age or not? So if your plan is Castle Age, you are well on track. If it is not, and you end up stalling here in Feudal, this could be bad. It's good you took out that ram. That was a lot of resources from your opponent. I really do feel strongly that archers aren't really a good counter to Juganus. Not so hot. I'd have to do the math with horsemen against Juganus, but... Ooh, you don't want to move out too far here. Especially if you see them slink into a stealth forest. Okay, yeah. Yep. That's too many. Yeah, too many to deal with. Okay, so you're back to full production here. Opponent's still in feudal as well. Now, you can't see the score, obviously, as you're playing. Apparently, your opponent is ahead. I have a feeling you lost a lot more archers than he did. And you lost some villagers as well, which may even mean you're at a similar villager level. I didn't have a close eye on how consistent villager production was during that battle. Okay, another ram coming in. That is a lot of Juganus. I like the outpost farther back. I like this a lot. I don't even think I would engage. How's the range on Juganus? 4.5 versus 5? Yeah. So, still good massive archers. Definitely want to pop into this tower with some villagers. Manually target down the Juganus. They will go down. Only 70 hit points each. Yeah, these vills in this tower. with some manual targeting would be really big. Because right now this tower is providing you 0 value. You're going to slowly lose the War of Archers here. Tricky. Looking like you're going to lose that TC as well. It might be worth just giving up on. I think this was a mistake. I mean, I think you needed to take advantage of the fact you had a tower here. A little kiting. Nice job. So he's taken out your expansion town center. It's not the end of the world. Now you have 600 stone right now. A lot of yelling in my ears here. It seems to me that if you have 600 stone... 700 gold. Okay. Okay, lost a few villagers there. That was a little bit rough. He should hopefully lose quite a few Juganus. Okay. So you're in a bit of a rough spot now, considering that you lost the expansion TC and he has Song Dynasty. We kind of know at this point, and you've lost a bunch of villagers. He probably has more villagers than you. They always beat me to it. I was about to say, I wouldn't be surprised if he hits Castle Age before you. Now, I did not see you click up, so that is something that I missed. Culture Wing. I don't know. Why do people go with the Culture Wing? I get that this is a valuable technology, but it seems like your immediate need is military. Isn't it? I mean, for example, a single Camel Archer providing +1 armor to all of these could potentially mean... How much damage do Juganus do? 5? I mean, 1 armor prevents 3 damage per series of attacks from a Juganu. I mean, in a way, Abbasid may be uniquely capable of dealing with Juganus. He's now at Veteran. That's going to be rough. So, okay, I'm going to pause this game. I think the game is effectively lost. You're going to play on, and maybe we can speed through it. But I'm going to go to the full screen here. I think enough things have gone not to your benefit that oh, here it is, Astronomical Clock Tower. Yeah. So, okay. I mean, to be honest, I think if your plan is Abbasid 2 Town Center play, you have to make it work. So, if you place an outpost, you need arrow slits on that outpost. Potentially, as soon as you see a ram, make sure you have enough stone to give it fortify outpost. With that and archers, I think you're okay. I think you do fine here. Whether or not you need horsemen, I mean, this is a tight area. You could argue, yeah, horsemen, I wouldn't have been able to maneuver as well as I would have liked. Although, of course, if they're not kiting you, horsemen actually do very, very well, even with only a few on the front line there. So I think horsemen were an option. But if you don't do that, basically mass archer into outpost with arrow slits. This is the right play here. Looks like this did actually end up getting arrow slits. And this one did eventually as well. I just think it was a little too late. I'm going to hit play here now. And I'm going to speed it up because I think we've seen... This is going to go down really quickly. And then now you have regular archers against Juganus. Yeah, not looking so hot. Do at least have men-at-arms. Unfortunately with men-at-arms, even Juganus aren't good against them, but they're better than regular archers. So I'm not actually convinced that men-at-arms are a good counter to Juganus. They're okay. They'll push them back, but not if you have no means to kill them. So, and these men-at-arms trickling in is obviously not going to do the job. If you waited until you had 4, You could imagine it takes him a little longer, but now the Palace Guard come in. This game is definitely over. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, I'm actually going to restart. This is the first time doing one of these twice in a row, but I'm going to restart because I really want something clear and actionable. I think a lot of your early play is really quite tight. I think the build makes sense. I think at some point the resources start spiking in weird ways. For example, you had a lot of stone and you weren't doing anything with that stone. I'm going to speed. Can I just speed it up with I can't. Cool. Okay. So we're on quadruple time here for a minute. Let me just confirm that. Yes, we are. House of Wisdom. Normal stuff. That beautifully timed house. Well done. Let's have a look around. Was there a better spot to put a TC? Another option as well is you sometimes see people do it. You just put your second TC right beside your first. It feels silly, but your second TC is in some ways a liability. It provides, yes, some protection. So you're more protected if you're on this wood line and there's a TC there. But if a ramp comes in, that's actually their target, right? They don't want your home TC. They want your expansion TC because it's just as good and it has far fewer hit points. Just as good at producing villagers, that is. Let's keep... So yeah, he made an extra scout. Feudal, good stuff. Looks like you clicked up the fresh foodstuffs right away. Very nice. You have almost the stone you need. Yep, very nice. Looking pretty tight on that front. Town center goes up. Let me slow this down again. I do think you should consider your placement. It doesn't always have to be beside a resource. At least the deer were here. Yes, that is good. If you're truly playing defensively, I think you should consider some options that look weird, like this. I mean, it's going to be pretty hard to push this TC. They'd have to pretty much go all the way around, or they actually have to walk through here. And remember, if their archers are in range of your home TC, you can manually target. You can put a bunch of villagers in here and kill those Jugunus who do not have good range. So it's a lot easier to deal with Jugunus in a siege than it is to deal with longbows. So you have that going for you, and I think you should consider taking advantage of it. So actually, in a way, this is greedy. This is actually greedy town center play. It's forward. You found 2 resources, so it does look nice. It's an enticing spot to put a TC. Pardon me, but it may not be the best. Let us speed back up a little bit here. Okay, wait. So I'm gonna go back to normal. This is at around the time you've seen Jugunus. You know he's doing that. You don't know to what degree. You have walled, so you know it's a threat. He actually never went around the wall. So in a way, these walls were perfect, right? Extremely successful. You basically just wasted enough of his time that he figured, well, I guess I have to go through those walls. So you bought the time you needed. My next question would be, what's the plan to keep this TC alive? So, maybe get a couple of villagers on stone. And yeah, a couple of villagers on stone, an outpost here or here or here, something like that. Maybe a little harder to get to for a ram. And then keep it alive. And that's all assuming that this is where your TC is, not back here. If it's back here, you may not even need the outpost. Which is worth noting. You might actually save resources in the long run. Still have quite a few berries. It is true you did need to worry about food, so definitely valid thinking like how do I get these deer under control? And the other mill is the other berries are far enough out that you wouldn't have wanted to mill them. So I'm just trying to get into your mindset and why this TC would be here. So I think you should consider placing an outpost earlier and having villagers on stone earlier. Looks like you have them now. And then as soon as you have that tower up, you get arrow slits. And you make sure you're targeting down Jugunus, and you're dancing the dance. This is good play. You're continuing to slow them down. By adding the second palisade. First one halfway down. Oh, he got... You know what? I did not see that the first time. Let's check the economy counts here. 36. So you're now even Steven in economy. I did not see that. That actually makes a huge difference. So it's all about efficiency of like economy at this stage, right? The whole point of this thing is getting the most use out of it as possible. You're adding the outpost now. You have the stone you need. You have the gold you need. Let's keep an eye on this outpost. Because this outpost with arrow slits can start killing these Juganus, and then villagers can just kill the ram. Let's take a look. You do get arrow slits right away. What did I miss here? It's possible that... did he just go for this right away and take it out? You definitely need to be manually targeting with this tower. This is a close enough battle that these villagers are doing effectively nothing inside of here right now. Yeah. So I honestly think like these situations are frustrating because a lot of it's little things. It is true that you have 900 resources right now that are not spent. So you can imagine between that and the wood you had, imagine like 1,000 resources in archers. Suddenly you mop this up. And he's of course he spent on the ram, right? 300 wood on that. So that could be, what is it? 80 resources for an archer. So that's almost 4 archers. This time, yeah, now that we have the chance. So he's ahead in villagers now. So, I mean, in a way, this is kind of already lost. The fact that this thing... Remember I said 7-minute mark and I said we'd check back? That this would break even by then? It almost certainly has not broken even. I mean, the fact that you're even with villagers with him now, not ahead, means that this town center was almost purely a loss. I'll put it that way. So, I would say, as a single thing to work on, if what you want to do is Abbasid to town center, boom, which I think is a great way to play, then do it, but your focus is keeping villagers and this town center alive. And even if you need to spend, like, make another outpost, like a second or even third outpost, make sure you do it early. You know, you get that, you get the hit point upgrade on it. Anything to keep this alive, because within about 4 minutes, the TC and villagers have paid themselves off. Within 5, you have way more resources than they do. So those towers pay themselves off in something like 30 seconds, you know, after the point. But only if you keep your villagers alive. Okay, let's take one more look at... let's speed up the game again here. And I'll take one more look at... So he is still... So you're pretty much even on economy still at this point. You've probably even had to repair your TC. So I think, I don't know what your thoughts were coming out of this game, but I strongly feel that this town center ended up being purely a loss, and that you need to find a way to play where you can make a town center and make sure it is not a loss. As well, so I want to keep an eye this time on when you actually clicked up. So he's not clicked up yet. Okay, so that's not too bad in terms of timing. And he must go up with a lot of villagers, because I think he beats you to Castle Edge, right? Okay, so I'm gonna pause here, and then we'll do some general wrap up from this position. Okay, so where'd my video go? Did I lose my video? Okay, so at this stage, I really think the main thing to work on is so first of all, to note, these defensive situations are just hard. There's not an easy way around it. If you're on the defensive, fundamentally you're holding them off. You're waiting for kind of an engine to click into place, right? And then then it clicks into place, and you need it to like surpass them, and you need to keep everything tight during that period. And if you can't do that, then it never really gets going, and you're only behind. So this town center cost you a lot of resources, time, and so on. If you never built it, you would be on the attack most of the game. Or imagine you got on the attack and you built it later, and this thing was safe. Or imagine you built it and you added 2 towers, and all of them had, like, yes, it's a lot of resources, but all of them had arrow slits and fortify outpost. At this level, that probably works. If your only goal is to keep the town center alive, do what you need to do. And lastly, I would say strongly consider doing something weird with your town center placement, like here, or before the archery range was here, for example, like in here. And then at that point, if they want to push one town center, they basically have to push both. And your TC will probably be able to range their Juganus, even if there's a ram on the outside TC. So I would say a lot of things are going well here. You didn't actually have resources to spike. They're spiked now, but I think the game is effectively lost at this point, so it's not really something to specifically work on. So that's it for me. Folks, this has been Paragon RG. Special thanks to I Love RTS for letting me go through his replay. I think you've got a lot of good things going for you in your play, and I'm really happy to go over another one of your replays sometime. That's all. Have a good one, and I'll catch you next time.